Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing some maths and we're going to be looking at the perimeter of some 2D shapes. Okay everyone, before I go in with any questions or working out, I'm just going to show you something really quickly that you should all know, but I'm just going to say it just to make sure. So if you're ever measuring a shape with a ruler, if you just look at the start of the ruler, you can see that it doesn't start right on the edge. So if I was going to measure something that was really small, for example if it was this big, and I started on the edge of the ruler here, then it wouldn't be accurate. You always have to make sure that you're measuring from the line right here, because that's where I know 0 is. So if you measured from here, you'd be about 1 centimeter off and your measurement would be slightly wrong. Okay, let's go into some questions now. The first question we're going to do is this one. So you can see there's a picture of a square. Well, we don't know if it's a square yet, but we're going to find out. And the question says, what is the perimeter of this shape? So if you look around it, you can already see there are some measurements, and it has 5 centimeters on every side, and we've got 4 sides, which means that this shape is definitely a square. Okay, now the question is asking us, what is the perimeter? So the perimeter is how long the measurement is all the way around the shape. We don't need to work anything out apart from that, because we've already got our measurements. So to find the perimeter, all we need to do is add up all of our sides and find out what we've got. So there's a couple ways I can do it. I can do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or I can do 5 times 4, because I've got 4 sides and they're all the same length. So I'm going to do 5 times 4 because I can do that one in my head. And I know that 5 times 4 equals 20. So the perimeter of this shape is 20 centimeters. Our next question is a different shape now. It looks like a rectangle, but let's read the question and check what we have. So, what is the perimeter of this shape? So it's the same question, but this time we've got a different shape. So, the difference is I don't know the size of 2 of the sides now. So I've got one that's 5 centimeters and one that is 12. But if I look carefully, I can see that the opposite sides are both equal, which means that the opposite of this is 5 centimeters and the opposite side of this one is here, so that must be 12 centimeters. So now I've got the length of all of the sides, and all I need to do is add them up to find the perimeter. So I've got 2 sides that are 5 centimeters and 2 that are 12. So I need to do 2 different things. 5 plus 5, which is 10 centimeters. And I have 12 plus 12, which is 24 centimeters. And I'm just going to quickly do column addition to add them up. 0 and 4 is 4, and 1 add 2 is 3. So that must mean that my perimeter is 34 centimeters. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of a trickier one. Here's our next one. It's a little bit trickier, but we're going to get through it. So it's the same question again. What is the perimeter of this shape? But this time we're missing some of our sides measurements. So I'm going to show you how to work this out without a ruler. Obviously, if you had a ruler, you could just measure them if they're to scale, but we're going to do it without one. So I've got my top side, which is 12, and my other big side, which is 8. And then I've got 4 centimeters here and here too. So now let's work out this side first. So it's going vertically. So I'm going to look at my other vertical sides and see that this one over here is 8 and this one over here is 4. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, if this was a rectangle here, then this side would be 8 centimeters. So if this one is 4, that means there's still 4 centimeters missing from my rectangle, which means that this little side over here is also 4 centimeters. And I know that's right because if I do 4 plus 4, it makes 8, which is the same length as this side of the shape over here. Okay, so that's that one. And now I need to work out this one over here because it's the only one I'm missing now. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to look at what way it's going. It's going horizontal. And the horizontal sides that I know are over here, which is 12 centimeters. That's all the way. And then I've got 4 centimeters, the smaller one over here. So I'm looking at how much is missing. So if this line here is 4 centimeters, all I need to do is 12 centimeters, take away 4, which I know is 8 centimeters. Okay, so that's not the end of the question yet because I still need to find out what the perimeter is. So to find out, all I need to do is add up all of these numbers. So I'm going to do them in 2 separate addition sentences so that I don't get confused. So I'm going to do 12 plus 8 plus 8, and then I'm going to do 4 plus 4 plus 4. Okay, so 12 and 8, I know is 20 because of my number bonds. And then I've got 20 now, and I just need to add 8 onto it, which is 28. So I'm going to write that here to remember. And now I need to do 4 plus 4 plus 4. And I know my 4 times tables, so I'm just going to do 4 times 3, which is 4, 8, 12. So I've got 28 and 12. I'm just going to add those up. 8 plus 2 is 10. So I'm going to hold the 1 there. And then I've got 2 plus 1, which is 3. And then I'm going to add the 1, which is 4. So the perimeter of my shape is 40 centimeters. Okay, I'm just going to show you an area question now. So we're not going to do perimeter. I'm just going to show you what area questions would be like. So if I've got a square here and my sides that I know are 5 centimeters, that means that the other two should be 5 centimeters as well. And to find the area of a shape, if it's a square, all I need to do is do 5 times 5, because you need to do the height of a shape, which is this line here, and the length of a shape, which is the horizontal lines, times by each other, and then whatever your answer is, that is what your area is. Okay, so to find my area, I need to do 5 times 5, which you probably know already is 25. Now, if my answer is in centimeters, I need to write 25 centimeters. And because I'm finding the area, I'm going to do 25 centimeters squared. So I need to put a little number 2 on top of it, and that turns it into area. Okay, I've got another area question now, but this time it's not a square. So I've got a rectangle, and I know that one of the sides is 10 centimeters and the other is 5. I'm just going to put in the other sides just so I'm comfortable knowing that it's a rectangle, and I know that I'm not going to get the answer wrong in the end. So your opposite sides are always equal, but if we're finding the area, we're not going to add them up. So what we need to do again is do the height times the length, which is 5 centimeters, which is the height, times the length, which is 10 centimeters. So if you already know it, then that's good, but 5 times 10 is 50. And if you're finding the area, you need to show it properly, which isn't just 50 centimeters. Again, you need to put the little 2, which means squared. So the area is 50 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to show you one more question when your shape might be a little bit irregular and you need to do some more working out. Okay, so this is my last question. Now, I don't have a square or a rectangle here. I've got a bit of a weird L shape on its side, and I need to find the area of it. So just like I did with the perimeter, I need to do the same thing and find out what these missing measurements are. So my horizontal line up here is 10 centimeters and my other horizontal line is 6. And I've got one missing over here, which is smaller than the 10, and it looks a bit smaller than the 6 as well. So if the 6 and this side here make 10, which they do because I can see that by looking at the shape, all I need to do is 10 take away 6, which is 4 centimeters. And now I need to find this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. So my long side is 5 centimeters, and my other vertical side is 3 centimeters, which means that the remaining amount is 2 centimeters. Now, I can't do 5 times 10 to find the area of this, because I would do that if it was a rectangle. So if all of this was filled in here, then I would do 5 times 10. But this is all missing here, so I need to do something else as well. So I need to work out the area of this big rectangle and also this small rectangle here, which I've just made. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take away the smaller one from the big one, which will give me the area of this shape here. Okay, so let's do the big one first, which is 5 times 10. And that gives me 50 centimeters squared. Now I need to find this rectangle's area. So I can see here that my side is 2 centimeters, which means this one is as well. And this side up here is 6, which means this one is 6 as well. So to find the area of this shape, I need to do 6 times 2, which makes 12 centimeters squared, which means that to find the area of this shape in here, I need to do 50 centimeters, take away 12 centimeters squared. Okay, so I'm going to do column addition. Subtraction. So I can't do 0 take away 2. So I'm going to exchange this for a 10. So 10 take away 2 is 8. And 4 take away 1 is 3. Which means that my area for this shaded bit of my shape is 38 centimeters squared. Okay everyone, that's the end of the video. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to rewatch it if you didn't understand something, and I hope you'll watch the next video.